Today I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to protect your plants from freezing temperatures, harsh winds, and heavy snow using evergreen boughs. These natural protectors not only help your plants survive the winter, they also create the perfect conditions to jumpstart your plants come spring. Now I'm going to break this video down into a number of tips, and you can use the timestamps below to jump around as you need to. At the end, I'll share with you how evergreen branches help with light, which can be pretty tricky in the winter. First up is insulation. Evergreen boughs are like a natural blanket for your plants. They help trap heat around the plants, creating a barrier that keeps the cold air away from the soil and the plant roots. This helps maintain a more stable temperature and prevents the soil from freezing too deeply, which is especially important for sensitive plants like perennials and root vegetables. By keeping the ground warmer, evergreen boughs help your plants make it through even the coldest months. Now, let's move on to how evergreen branches help with air circulation. Evergreen branches don't just insulate, they provide good air circulation. The gaps between the branches allows air to flow around your plants, which prevents humidity from building up. Now, without this airflow, moisture can turn into mold or rot, especially when you're talking about wet conditions. Now, if dry soil is a problem or the soil lacks a protective snow cover, evergreen branches can help with that too, by reducing evaporation and keeping the soil moist longer, which means your plants can take up water during those dry spells. Speaking of protection, let's talk about how evergreen boughs act like a barrier against wind. Winter winds can be incredibly damaging to your plants, causing windburn and drying them out. Now, evergreen branches act like a natural windbreak, protecting your plants from those harsh, cold winds. Simply place them around or on top of your plants, whether they're growing in garden beds that are open to the elements or under mini hoops or in a hoop house or greenhouse. You can also set them directly on top of the soil, with or without plants, to protect it from the elements. Here's something else that's cool. This protective layer also allows earthworms and other soil creatures to continue working higher up in the soil column during the winter. Another great benefit of evergreen branches is that they can act as a natural mulch for your garden. Now, this might not seem like much help, but as evergreen needles collect on the ground, they form a natural layer of mulch. Now, this mulch helps conserve moisture in the soil and over time adds organic matter back into the soil. Now, you might have heard that needles from pine, spruce, fir, and other evergreens can make the soil more acidic, but that's not exactly true. While the coating on the green needles is slightly acidic, once they turn brown, they become a great source of carbon or brown material for your soil and your compost pile. So don't worry about acidity. Use evergreen needles to enrich your soil and compost with those valuable nutrients. So let's talk about getting your garden ready for spring. In other words, let's talk about how evergreen boughs can give your plants a head start. One of the biggest advantages I've found of evergreen branches is that they help protect your plants from extreme cold, keeping the soil warmer. This means your plants, especially perennials, they can emerge from dormancy earlier in the spring. The boughs allow the ground to thaw slowly, so your plants can start growing sooner rather than being shocked by those sudden temperature changes or freeze-thaw cycles which can severely damage plants. Evergreens give your plants a great head start when the weather warms up. Now let's take a closer look at frost heaving and how evergreen boughs can prevent it. Frost heaving happens when the soil freezes and thaws repeatedly, causing plant roots to be lifted out of the ground. Evergreen branches help prevent frost heaving by keeping the soil temperature more stable and consistent. This is especially important for, say, newly planted or shallow-rooted plants that are more vulnerable to root disturbance. With evergreen branches in place, your plant roots stay safe and secure over the whole winter. Now here's something else to consider. Beyond all the practical benefits, evergreen boughs also enhance your garden's appearance. Evergreen branches provide a lovely natural winter cover for your garden. Even when most of your plants are dormant and kind of dead looking, the lush greenery of the branches adds color and texture, creating, well, a vibrant winter landscape. It's a simple way to keep your garden looking beautiful through those colder months, those stick seasons. Now let's talk about how evergreen branches can help protect your soil, especially during melting snow and heavy rains. Heavy snowmelt and rain can wash away valuable topsoil, especially in exposed areas. Evergreen boughs help reduce soil erosion by softening the blows of melting snow and heavy rain, by stabilizing the soil and reducing runoff. This is especially helpful in areas with slopes and newly cleared areas or loose soil where erosion is more likely to happen. The branches help keep the soil in place, protecting your plant roots and maintaining healthy soil at the same time. And lastly, let's discuss how evergreen boughs protect your plants from snow, especially heavy snow. Snow can be really tough on your plants, especially during heavy snowfall. Evergreen branches act as, well, like a cushion, absorbing the weight of the snow and preventing it from crushing stems and branches or even suffocating your perennials. By laying boughs over those delicate plants or using them as a cover on your garden beds, you reduce the impact of heavy snowfalls and keep your plants safe and sound below. Now earlier I talked about light filtering. Now in the winter, the sun is lower in the sky, right? And when the weather warms up, plants can get sun scald, which is damage from too much sunlight after a thaw. Evergreen branches, as well as snow, by the way, filters the light, providing a gentle, diffuse sunlight that protects your plants from sun scald. Filtered light not only helps reduce stress and damage during those bursts of sunlight, it also provides a soft, diffuse light for perennials and young seedlings emerging in the spring. Now you know how evergreen branches can be a game changer for your garden. I know it has been for me. Whether it's protecting your plants from cold, wind, or snow, these simple covers make a huge difference. Awesome! Let me know in the comments how you cope with winter weather and which of these tips are most helpful for your garden. Stay cozy and happy gardening. Cheers!